What if I told you that in exactly 7 days, some NBA general manager is going to make a phone call that will haunt his sleepless nights for the next decade? What if that call is passing on a 6'10" monster who just put up nearly 19 points and 11 rebounds while swatting away shots like a man possessed? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most underrated storyline of the 2025 NBA Draft, the criminal undervaluation of Auburn's Johni Broome. We're living in an era where NBA teams throw max contracts at players who can barely touch the rim, yet somehow a complete basketball specimen is sitting in mock drafts at picks 40 and 43. This isn't just puzzling, it's borderline basketball malpractice, and somebody's about to get away with highway robbery. The resume that should have scouts losing their minds lets talk numbers, because apparently that's the only language some people understand. Johni Broome just wrapped up a season where he averaged 18.6 points, 10.6 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks per game. But here's what those cold statistics don't tell you. This man did it all with the kind of basketball IQ and versatility that makes coaches wake up in cold sweats dreaming about what they could do with that kind of talent. Picture this. A 7-footer who can post up with the footwork of Hakeem Olajuwon, pass the ball like he's conducting a symphony orchestra, and protect the rim like his family's honor depend on it. That's not a unicorn. That's Johni Broome, and he's about to be available in the second round of the NBA Draft. The most infuriating part? In today's positionless basketball revolution, where teams are desperately searching for that mythical big man who can do everything, Broome represents the perfect solution. He's not just another lumbering center who clogs the paint. This is a stretch big with legitimate range, court vision that would make point guards jealous, and defensive instincts that can anchor an entire system. We're watching teams pay $20 million a year for players who bring half of what Broome offers. Yet somehow he's projected to go in the second round. The math doesn't add up. The logic is non-existent. And the opportunity for some lucky franchise is absolutely staggering. 7 teams know something the rest don't hear is where this story gets absolutely fascinating. 7 NBA organizations, the Golden State Warriors, Atlanta Hawks, Boston Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, Detroit Pistons, Los Angeles Clippers, and Toronto Raptors, all carved out precious time from their jam-packed pre-draft schedules to personally work out Broome. 7 teams with completely different needs, philosophies, and timelines all reach the same conclusion. This guy deserves a closer look. When was the last time you saw that kind of universal interest in a projected second-round pick? These aren't charity workouts or box-checking exercises. These are billion-dollar organizations with world-class scouting departments investing real resources because they recognize something special. The Warriors, still smarting from their disappointing playoff exit, are looking for pieces that can contribute to another championship run. The Celtics, masters of finding value in unexpected places, clearly see something they like. The rebuilding teams like Detroit and Brooklyn are hunting for foundational pieces that can grow into something significant. What's the common thread? They're all seeing a player whose skill set transcends typical draft position expectations. When teams across the competitive spectrum are showing serious interest, that's not coincidence. That's recognition of legitimate NBA talent. The mock draft madness. Utah at 43. Washington at 40. Let's dive into where the so-called experts think Broome will land. Because frankly, these projections feel like the basketball equivalent of leaving money on the table. Bleacher Report has him going 43rd overall to Utah Jazz via a Dallas pick. Now, Utah is in full rebuild mode, surrounding young talent like Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, and Cody Williams with complementary pieces. Adding Broome to that core would give them exactly what they're missing, a versatile big man who can grow alongside their other developing players while providing immediate impact. The Jazz are trying to establish an identity in the absolutely brutal Western Conference. Having a center who can stretch the floor, facilitate offense, and anchor the defense could be the difference between being another rebuilding afterthought and becoming a legitimate threat in a few years. ESPN project him at 40th to the Washington Wizards, and this might be even more intriguing. With trade rumors swirling around Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole, and Jonas Valanciunas, Washington is clearly in asset accumulation mode. They've already proven they can identify and develop talent with recent successes like Bilal Coulibaly, Bub Carrington, and Alex Sarr. The Wizards have created a culture of development and patience with young players. Broome would walk into an organization that knows how to maximize potential and give players time to grow. In 2 or 3 years, when other teams are kicking themselves for passing on him, Washington could be sitting pretty with a cornerstone player. They got to pick 40. The Golden State wild card, perfect fit or missed opportunity. Here's where the story takes a potentially explosive turn. The Warriors worked out Broome, and given their current situation, he could be exactly what they need to extend their championship window. Think about Golden State's recent struggles. They've got an aging core, questions about their front court depth, and a desperate need for players who can contribute both now and in the future. With Tracy Jackson-Davis showing promise at center, the Warriors have the luxury of adding another young big without the immediate pressure for production. Broome's skill set reads like it was designed in a laboratory specifically for the Warriors system. He can stretch the floor to create space for their motion offense, make plays from the high post to keep the ball moving, and protect the rim to complement their switching defense. Plus, learning from established veterans while developing alongside Jackson-Davis could accelerate his growth in ways that wouldn't be possible elsewhere. The Warriors have a track record of finding gems in unexpected places. From Draymond Green in the second round to identifying role players who perfectly complement their stars, Golden State knows how to evaluate talent. If they're interested in Broome, other teams should be paying attention. The second-round revolution. Why this matters more than ever, we're living in the golden age of second-round success stories. From Nikola Jokic to Draymond Green to Isaiah Thomas, the league is full of players who exceeded their draft position expectations. The teams that consistently find these gems have a massive competitive advantage in an era of salary cap constraints and constant roster turnover. Broome represents everything you want in a second-round selection. Proven production against high-level competition, a diverse skill set that translates to professional basketball, room for continued growth, and the kind of work ethic and character that breeds success at the next level. His college performance was a fluke or a one-year wonder. This was sustained excellence throughout a full season, showcasing consistency and reliability that NBA teams crave. When you can get that kind of production and potential at picks 40 to 43, you're essentially stealing talent that should be going much higher. The inevitable regret. Which team will kick themselves first? Mark my words. In 3 years, when Johni Broome is putting up 15 and 10 for some lucky franchise while playing all-star level defense, there are going to be 29 other general managers staring at their draft boards wondering how they let this happen. The signs are all there. The statistical production, the skill set diversity, the widespread organizational interest, the perfect fit for modern NBA basketball. Yet somehow, he's projected to be available in the second round. This isn't just a market inefficiency. It's a market collapse. Some team is about to hit the jackpot, and the rest of the league is going to learn a painful lesson about the cost of overthinking obvious talent. The 2025 NBA draft is shaping up to be remembered not for who won the lottery, but for the steal that happened on draft night when everyone else was looking the other way. Who do you think will be smart enough to grab Broome before it's too late? Are the Jazz and Wizards really going to get this gift, or will another team swoop in and make the steal of the century? Let me know your predictions in the comments, and if you're as fired up about this story as I am, show some love with that like button. Because next week, we're all going to find out just how right or wrong the experts really are.